My name is John Garrett. Today I checked into my new job at Bay Springs. I'm told I'll be attached to the security section, handling parking passes and monitoring the general area. With there being more experienced men there already, it did not come as a surprise to me when it was revealed that I would be taking the night shift. I don't mind since I'm not married or have kids, so taking nights wasn't such a downer.
There's only one rule here. Don't fall asleep on post. Other than that, you'll be fine,
says my section chief, Mr. Haynes. He introduces me to the whole section, and we do our heys and how you doin's. I stick around after everyone leaves to get a general brief from Jerry, the guy working tonight's night shift, so I can make sure I don't screw anything up tomorrow, my official first day.
All right, basically you sit by this desk.
He pointed downward to the chair he was sitting in.
Keep an eye on the monitors here and listen for the radio. There'll be guys coming in needing to check out their weapon. If they call up, have them sign the logout book. After that, you can issue them the weapon. Any questions?
I shook my head from left to right and proceeded to go home to get a good night's sleep. At 7 o'clock, I relieved Zach to start my post. I signed my name into the duty logbook and prepared for an extremely exhausting 12 hours. The first couple of hours seemed to fly by, with people coming in and out, asking for this or that. One of the many people to come by was Jerry. He had forgotten his phone charger and decided to keep me company for a little while. We talked about the usual things strangers tend to talk about when getting to know each other. Then out of nowhere he says, "You do know, there used to be a serial killer in this town, right?" So off guard by the question that all I could offer him was a blank stare, followed by a gravely, "Excuse me?"
Francis Fabian Faulkner was his real name, but the media coined him the Sewer, because he would slit his victims' necks and then sew them back together. Also, he would carve a reverse pentagram, a symbol associated with the devil, across the faces of his recently fresh cadavers, and leave a note saying, "We are eternal." It was said he did this to put some sort of curse on them so that they wouldn't know they were dead, and their spirits remained always to haunt the very place they died.
Horrified at this gruesome story just told to me, I managed to ask, "How did they catch him?"
One of our own saw suspicious movement around the camping area one night, and sent a patrol car to investigate. When they arrived, he had already claimed another life. He was told to drop his weapon and get down on the ground, but instead he took his blade and put it against his own throat. He uttered his final words, "I am eternal."
Jerry paused his story to judge my reaction. It must have satisfied him because he continued.
In the report, he was described as a white male, average height and weight, with long black hair, and, get this, completely white eyes. The only other notable feature was the reverse pentagram scar on his face.
Jerry got the rest of his belongings and walked out, leaving me to deal with a bad case of the heebie-jeebies. It's now around 8:30 or 9. I notice the familiar sound of rain falling outside. I twiddle away at my thumbs, doing anything I can to pass the time, which is moving painfully slow. I watched as the seconds go their circular path to nowhere, hypnotizing me in my war to stay awake. Now I cannot say for sure at what point I had zoned out, but I glanced up to check the time. 2 hours! For the life of me, don't remember a thing after around 10 to midnight. I get up out of my chair to go grab a drink of water, thinking maybe that will keep me focused. I return to my seat a little more energized than before and listen to the maddening silence. There's a repetitive dripping noise coming from the second floor, each little pitter-patter pounding away in my head. Random thumps make their way down the hall, joined in by the clanking and clattering of metal doors, mocking me with their annoyance. laughing at the very thought of putting me in an uneasy state. The screen on the surveillance monitor goes black, as it does every minute or so. I press the space bar and notice some kind of red goo has filled the screen. I don't really think anything of it. It's just a malfunction. No, I don't think about it at all. That is, until my radio starts going off. It's filled with static, like whoever is sending the transmission is too far for a clear reading. There are a couple of breaks in the static, and the faint sound of a voice can be heard. Suddenly the static dissipates, and the voice, filled with an airy, coughing rasp, comes in clear. Have you ever had the edge of a blade glide across the curvature of your throat, greeting you with certain death? Do you know how it feels, gasping for every breath, while you watch your life splatter over the walls, staining them with your memory? My attention returns to the reddening screen. Slowly, I zoom out to reveal the mystery of the red ooze. I watch in pure horror as blood gushes out of someone's neck. I can't quite make out who the person is yet. The camera is still slowly zooming out. The person's face is starting to come into view. I can already see that some of the flesh is pale and blackened. The corpse looks as though it's undergone years of decomposition. Despite that, the scarred remains of a symbol is very clear. My eyes widen, and I forget how to breathe. I know the symbol well, the reverse pentagram. I assure you that by the end of tonight, you'll know the feelings all too well. The voice on the radio taunts. I check the monitors to see where the feed is coming from. It reads, First Deck Lounge. I'll see you soon. The screen goes black, and the radio becomes silent. I jump up and upholster my pistol. Hesitantly, I make my way around the front of the desk, inching closer to the door that opens out into the hallway. The lounge is the last room on the left. I clear out every room to make sure nothing sneaks up behind me. I swear that every step closer to that room makes the air thinner. I've approached my final stop. I charge the door and prepare for what awaits. Empty. There's nothing in here except your everyday kitchen appliances, coupled with a lonesome oval table situated in the middle of the room. Thinking it had to be some kind of prank by Jerry, or just a late-night hallucination, I puff out my chest and yell, Very funny, Jerry! You got me! Ha ha! Come on out, you bastard! There was no response. My heart continues to beat rapidly. I stand there for a second, hoping that Jerry would pop out from his hiding place, and this would be over. There was nothing but a cold chill down my spine, so I head towards the door. A forceful thud stops me in my tracks. I'm almost too frightened to test my curiosity, but something tells me I must check. On the oval table lies a piece of paper impaled by a bloody knife. I frantically look around. I can't see anyone in the room. Things don't just manifest out of thin air. I know that damn table had been empty moments ago. I swallow hard and step toward it. With caution, I remove the knife and unfold the blood-stained note. You'll get yours, personally, it read. I crumpled the message, tossing it as far as I could. Honestly, at this point, I was tired of the charades. I ran from the lounge and headed back to the front desk. The moment I threw open the door, I saw a slumped-over shape sitting in my chair. I realized the shape was a person. My hands shook, and I swallowed hard. Excuse me, sir? You can't be back here. I received no response. I decided that I was in no mood to deal with this. I rushed over, put my hand on his shoulder, and turned the chair around. My eyes widened. I shrieked and stumbled back. I was staring face to face with myself. But it can't be. It's impossible. I'm dead. It can't be. But there it is. My throat slit and shone shut, a reverse pentagram marking my face. Hot breath
reels down my neck. Now, John, you are eternal.